Hello, hello, and welcome. Good morning, or good afternoon, good evening. Um, this is my Sunday relax and unwind whip and chat, and oh my goodness, after this week, I really needed to just relax and unwind. So, before I really get into working, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I have in front of me and what I'm working on. So this is a diamond painting from Diamond Art Club. It's Alley Cat by Hannah Lynn. I've been working on this for the past couple weeks as I've done my whip and chats. Getting near the tail end now. Hopefully next week I will be working on something new with you guys. So WIP is work in progress. This is my work in progress. And then my accessories, which are just fun things. Keep in mind, you don't have to have all of these things to diamond paint. Like when you buy a kit from most companies, you're going to get all of the basic necessary tools. Everything else is just a bit extra, but I tend to be a little bit extra, so I like to have these fun things. So I've got this gorgeous pen right here. This is an original by Donna Bass. I will link it down below. All of her pens are just one of a kind, and they are beauties. I've got my tray from Bella Art de Nicole. Loving her stackable 3D printed trays. My pen is loaded. I've got 2 single placers because I am an avid single placer. Maybe someday I will step into the world of multi-placing, but it's been 2.5 years and I'm not there yet. So one end has this Polyjuice Potion Patty Wax. And then the other end has my churro scented putty from Miranda's Crafty Corner. Absolutely love her scented putty. Cannot wait to get more scents. They both smell so good. My daughter was about to take a nibble the other night. Not really, just kidding. I'm not going to let my daughter eat my diamond painting wax, but she loves to just go through and smell them all. That's like one of her favorite things. I have my release paper here from Crafts with Crashly, keeping me from leaning in my sticky. And then keeping me company is just this little cute clay minder. And I bought these from a couple different places. I'll have to double check where she is from, but I will link it down below. And then my husband was just so sweet to add a magnet to the back, and I can do the double magnet to make it a minder right now. I didn't really have anywhere to actually stick it, so she's just sitting right there to keep me company. This week, getting into it. Why did I really need to relax? Well, we started off the week on a Monday with Halloween. And I think I've mentioned before that I'm in education. So I work at an elementary school. I spent time, I have my teaching degree. I've taught a multitude of grades, and now I'm actually an instructional coach. So I'm a math coach. So I work with both teachers and students in the specific area of math. But to have Halloween on a Monday, you guys, oh my goodness. So we in our building, like, we try and keep it as normal as possible of a day. But then after lunch, we let kids change into costumes, and we do the parties, and we do the parade, and just the whole everything. And of course, the kids come in already excited. We had kids show up in costume. You know, not a whole lot you can do about that sometimes. But, I mean, they just come in already. It's a Monday morning. It's Halloween, and they're excited. And all of it is so fun, but it is exhausting. So I went into work Monday knowing that it was a Monday. And by the end of the day Monday, I honestly thought it was Thursday because it felt like a Thursday afternoon. Like, I was just drained to the point I had a student ask me about something, and I said, "Oh, hon, we'll figure it out next week. And she probably thought I was crazy, like thinking, I have to wait clear till next week for us to figure this out. And then I realized, like, oh, it's only Monday. And then, of course, you come back Tuesday, and of the kids that are there, because, of course, attendance is down, there's a bunch of kids that stayed home because they were out late or whatnot. And of the kids that are there, half of them are zombies because they've been up half the night and they're just so tired. And the other half are totally sugared up and out of control. So we made it through Tuesday, and then Wednesday, so in my position as a coach, part of what I do is we work with outside consultants. And so Wednesday, our building was hosting some of our outside consultants, plus our math person from the district, and some teachers from other buildings. And so I was kind of in charge of all of that. And I'm not a party planner kind of person. I don't throw parties. I don't organize events. I say that I'm a type B person that like strives to be a type A, but I'm still very much a type B. Like organization is not necessarily my strong suit. And I just overthink everything. So my principal, like, he really trusts me to make decisions and set things up, which I appreciate. Someday I think I might like to be a principal. I don't know. Sometimes I really rethink that. I do have all of the schooling. I could do it. I have the certifications and whatnot, but sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't think I want to do his job. But we'll see. I have a lot of time left to make that choice. But he really tries to give me as many opportunities as possible to experience. So something as simple as we were providing like breakfast snack type stuff for our guests. And so Tuesday after school, he sent me to the store to go, or he didn't send, anyways. But I got money and I went to the store, and I kind of had a list. Him and I had brainstormed like some things that we thought would be good snacks. But what should have been like the quickest, easiest trip to the store, right? Like I have a list of what I'm getting. I have someone else's money. Like this should be easy. It was so hard for me. I overthought every decision that I made. From like, I started off at the grapes. And I was like, oh no, do I get green grapes or red grapes? What do people like? I know I like green grapes. What if other people like red grapes? Should I just get both? Oh, what if I'm spending too much money? I mean, they gave me this much, but if I spend the whole amount, then what are they going to say? And I did it through everything. I did it with the types of yogurt and the types of coffee creamer and the types of K-cups. And I mean, every decision I made, I was like, oh my goodness. And then this was the cutest thing. So we all know that kids say the cutest stuff. So it was still like we do after school clubs at our school. And so at the time I went shopping, I went Tuesday afternoon to be ready for Wednesday morning. And my son is in student council. He's a second grader. He's in student council. He is just a bright, shining star. I absolutely, he's my mini-me. And so I had told not everyone, but I had told our secretary in the office that I was going, and I told one of the second grade teachers who's in charge of student council, but I didn't tell his actual second grade teacher. I had told the other one that I was going shopping and that I would be back, and so that if he got done with student council, to let him know that I would be back. Well, I guess he got out, and people did tell him where I was, and he went to one of the other teachers, his first grade teacher from last year, and he says, my mom and sister went shopping. and stuff. And I guess they told him, like, it'll be okay. Like, she'll be back. And he goes, yeah, but it would have been nice to know. And I just had to laugh because that's the sort of thing, like, that I would say to him, right? Like, it'd be nice to know if you tell me stuff. And I just got such a kick out of that. He is just so silly. And he just says the funniest things. So I'm going to get more to that a little bit later. But so this is only Tuesday, and I'm already like, now my brain is exhausted, my body is exhausted, and Wednesday our people come in, and days like that, professional development days or days like that, like they're really good as far as the learning goes. But it just exhausts your brain because you're trying to think of all these ideas and things to implement and changes to implement, and like you just go home exhausted. And so Thursday, plus at this point, like my daughter decided, like, she just hadn't been feeling really good. Like, she wasn't feeling really great Tuesday after school, but then she woke up Wednesday and was fine. And then Wednesday after school, it was again that she wasn't feeling really good, but she woke up Thursday and was like, I want to go to school. And I'm like, okay, and stuff. And I wasn't feeling great Thursday, but we were getting new computers. And so I'm not only in charge of math at our building, but I'm also the IT RT, so like the resident in building IT kind of person. I have no actual schooling in that. That's just something like, hey, I'm fairly decent with computers. I can troubleshoot. I know how to ask you if you've turned it off and back on again. So yeah, I do that. And so we were getting new teacher computers. And so I needed to be there because I'd written the schedule of where people needed, you know, when they were getting them, where they needed to be. But I had a migraine all day. So by end of day Thursday, I was just so happy to come home and get a weekend. We're on a 4-day, which is so nice, let me tell you. We only work one Friday a month, and it's such a blessing. But at the same time, when that one Friday rolls around, like, we're all moaning and groaning. Like, we don't remember what it was like to work 5 days every week. We're just like, oh, we have to work this Friday? Really? And I know, like, a lot of people in their careers work every Friday or work 5 days. My husband works 5 days, and so he sometimes is like, I do it all the time. Like, you'll be fine. It's one Friday. But those weekends then always just seem so much shorter, and I'm like, I don't want to. Anyways, that's off on a tangent, but I was just so excited to get around to this relaxing and unwinding, and I've got quite a bit of diamond painting done this weekend. Like I said, I've made some progress on this one since I was with you guys last week, and I'm hoping that by next week I will be starting a new project. So, but back to some of my, oh my goodness, my kids, and they're saying the funniest things. So the reason I chose this little one to keep me company today is it reminds me so much of my daughter. So that's actually what her Halloween costume was this year. She dressed as a little girl Pikachu, and she's a little blondie. And that is just her down to a T. And then my son, he was Luigi this year. And it was funny because last year he was Mario. And then I had forgotten that his kindergarten year he was actually Yoshi. So he is just working himself through the whole lineup of Mario characters. He is so funny. He's like, Mom, I'm a gamer. So I'm like, okay, you can be a gamer as long as school still comes first and you get your homework done and everything. Well, with him, that's not a problem. So the teacher will send home homework, and it'll be like the week's worth of homework. So they have like a math problem they do on Monday, and one for Tuesday, one for Wednesday, etc. And he does the whole thing on Monday. He is in a math group with me, so as part of my job, like, I get to actually work some some of our gifted and just very high second graders, and he falls into that category. And I gave them a third grade math packet. And I gave it to them on Tuesday, and they were with me 40 minutes. Well, in 40 minutes, he had finished 2 of these third grade activities. And like some of his classmates were really struggling with the first one, and he'd already finished the first 2. Well, then while I was cleaning things up on Wednesday, he's like, Mom, I don't have club today. It's canceled. Can I go work on my math mystery packet? And I was like, okay. So he goes down there all by himself, like I'm not even in there. I'm cleaning up, and he continues to work on it to the point that I had to like almost drag him away from school on Wednesday. I mean, not quite, but I was tired. And he's like, Mom, I'm just not going to finish this page. I'm just going to finish this clue, this activity. And I was like, babes, I want to go home. Like, we drive 40 minutes, 45 minutes-ish to get home. We commute. And so I was like, I just want to go home. And he wanted to stay and do math. And so then by the end of the day, Thursday, he has already finished this 5-page packet, and everyone else in his group is still on clue 1 or 2. So now I'm gonna have to come up with something more for him to do. So he just cracks me up. He loves math. He's very good at reading, but his happy place is math. And it's funny because everyone's like, well, no wonder, because they look at me as a math coach and they're like, no wonder. And it's really not. Like, I mean, I don't think it's 100% that he gets that from me. Like, sure, in a way. But even though I'm a math coach, math was not my best subject in elementary school. I was, and I still feel like I am in a large extent, an avid reader. So I was more into reading, and it wasn't until I started teaching that I discovered how much I loved math, that I actually preferred teaching math over teaching reading. But when it came to like what I preferred to do as a student, I would much rather read than do math. So it's his own little gift, and I just love him for it. He's so just funny, and he also, so he's just like this big-hearted little boy. So to the point, like, we've had times where we will go to, like, we stop sometimes and get ice cream on our way home. And there was one day where my kids, they ordered their ice creams, and then my daughter decided she didn't like what she had ordered. And he was so sweet because he switched with her, even though he didn't actually like what she had ordered either. And so he didn't really get ice cream that day, but he gave up his ice cream so that she could have something that she liked. Or he gets like fake money at school. He earns it in his class, and he'll almost always get something for her as well as something for him. And I just see this big heart in him, and I just love it. So, I mean, yeah, I guess I'm not like trying to brag about my kid, but I definitely don't always see, like, I'm like, oh wow, like, I'm glad he has those traits, because sometimes I'm like, I don't know that he got that from me. But I'm just really proud of him. So, and he's so cute. He had this, I'm really, really close to my cousin. She is one of my best friends. And she is one of his favorite people in the world. So it's really cute. In kindergarten, his teacher used to line them up different days by, like, if your favorite color is blue, or if you like this. And one day it was if you have a stepmom or a stepdad. Well, he came home and he didn't know what that was. And so he was asking about it. And I said, well, that's when your mom or your dad, like, they get married. They're split up and they get married to someone else. And he goes, oh. He goes, well, I want Crystal to be my next mom. And I just had to giggle. And I was like, babes, it doesn't work that way. Like, I don't think that Uncle John, Crystal's husband, we call them, yeah, an uncle to my kids, even though they're my cousins. But I don't think he would like that. And I don't think Daddy would, like that's, like it doesn't quite work that way. But like if he could choose a second mom, it would be her. And she is okay with that. And I'm okay with that because she would be so good to him. She just loves him to pieces. And then again, like I think it was beginning of this year, end of last year, where like one of the teachers in the building had told him like, you need to be good to your mom because she's the only one you're ever going to have. And he goes, yeah, well, I mean, I do have other family. And like, I know he didn't mean it in any way like that he wasn't going to be nice to me, but he just thinks of her as like, yeah, I'm the only mom he's going to have, but he does have his Crystal and she is a close second. Like that's for sure.
Yeah.
And it's just so cute. So he just cracks me up, the things he says. And, and now I just lost my train of thought. So, but it's been one of those weeks. And then I don't know if where you are, they do the time change, but I'm in the United States and I'm in one of the states that does do it. And so then of course this morning, like we wake up and I look at my clock and it's 7 o'clock. And unless it's a school day, I am not usually up by 7 o'clock. And my brain was kind of like, what's going on? Like I'm actually up. Oh, that's right. Because actually it's 8 o'clock, or, to my brain and to my body, it's 8 o'clock. But the clocks say 7 o'clock, so that's okay. I do definitely will take the falling back over the springing forward every time as far as my sleep goes. Now, as far as the fact that it's going to start getting dark today at 4 o'clock, not looking forward to that. So, again, I drive home, so it means I'm going to have to start driving home in the dark or in the dark-ish, and I just don't love that, but it is what it is. That is the winter, so there are things I most definitely love about winter coming, and there are things that I am not looking forward to. I love a good snow if it means that school's canceled and I can stay home with a good book, or in this case, my diamond painting and some hot cocoa. I do not love snow if it means that the roads are going to be disgusting and drivers are going to be crazy and I still have to get from here to work. Don't love that. So, things I'm looking forward to, things I'm not looking forward to. I do a lunch and recess duty in my position, and if it's too cold and snowy, we have to do indoor recess, and I'm like, ugh. So I'm glad we don't have to go out in the cold, but I don't love like that the kids don't get that outside outlet, because then we just know like, okay, they're all going to be that little bit more out of control because we coop them up. So maybe I'll find some winter tag questions or something, or some Thanksgiving tag questions, and I'll do those next week for my WIP and chat. But I hope that you have enjoyed spending time with me today. I'm just filling in these bold outlines now, this signature of a Hannah Lynn. I always kind of start with the bold outlines when I work on her pieces, the blacks, and then I just go color by color, like whatever kind of suits my mood right at that moment. Sometimes I try and get the browns out of the way first, or sometimes I reach for like the brightest color and I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna do this next now that I've just done all that black. So I just have to decide. If this is your first time joining me, please consider pushing that subscribe button. And for anyone who joined me today, if you liked spending time with me, hit that like. And I look forward to talking with you more throughout the week. I will have probably a Magic Mail Monday, and possibly, if my package comes, I might have another new shop unboxing at some point. I hope you are doing well. I hope the weather's treating you well. I hope you are enjoying whatever craft you're doing or house duty or whatever it is you are doing while you watch this. And have a wonderful week. Bye.